Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stone Soup Poetry. It is a might be a smaller but still active night as we take a small little breather. Fun fact: the person who I wanted to actually follow up Doug Holder's feature would have been perfect, as he's a partner of Doug Holder's in many creative ventures over the years. But sadly, sadly went right before I went to go ask him. Doug Holder posted a photo of him in the hospital recovering. So Harris Gardner will hopefully make it for the summertime. Probably ask him either in mid for late June or early July. We'll see how things go. But he's also another person who's a part of Stone Soup's past history, back when it had presidents and treasurers and stuff like that. Of course, by the time I came in, there was none of that. I didn't get rid of it, but it was already gone.
Which
But
presidents were they? Were they Nixon or Carter or Gerald Ford? Or
there might have been one Nixonian president, or at least someone in charge of the Treasury Department. There was a little bit of a
I
mini
medical.
scandal. There was a mini scandal involving that for quite frankly, I don't want to get into because I've only heard it second and third hand, and I don't want guilty parties or innocent parties commenting on the YouTube video. But anyway, because good Lord, they could.
They would.
And some people of the scandal, some people who are involved in the scandal peripherally are now deceased, so I don't want to even speak neutrally of the dead at this and on this subject. But that's a gossip for another time offline. Let us go to the open mic. Then we can do the dirt later. But anyway, I want to give a little birthday shout out. It's for our first open micer. It's her birthday tomorrow. I'll be posting a link video on the Stone Soup group, as I try to do for everyone's birthdays. I've been kind of bad at it this year because I haven't been at the computer as much as I thought I was going to be. Boy, that's disappointing. I got up my screen time. But let's wish Marianne Honecker a happy birthday, and let's have Marianne kick off the open mic.
Hey, thank you. Um, this one, I wrote it today. It's for Thomas Wikström of Therion. They are a Swedish symphonic metal band. You broke the moon in half with that last insane upward trill. Seconds later, falling meteor, you burn your voice into the ground. Lions growl, base volcano, tremors of earthquake, Mars glowing red in the sky. You do all this with your throat, your mouth. School of silver fish leaping upstream in transparent waters. You find the flames of Earth's mantle and pour them into a microphone. There also are the sails of a tall ship, mast creaking, the ocean a road that your voice follows. All this is just one song. I push replay. Oh,
Wow, very nice. And what's the name of the band again?
Therion.
I'd appreciate a link. I'm always trying to look for different music to listen to. And
You'll
because
find them.
now that I have premium YouTube, I actually get musical suggestions. I get different bands that just drop music, and it's like, this is up as of 8 hours ago. One of the more interesting ones was a band called the Dyke Tysons, with some very interesting AI generated album art. But anyway, I'm always interested in new stuff. So thank you, Marianne, and let's move on to Mr. Bill Lewis.
Yabba dabba doo! Yay! I get to do something! Woohoo! As you can see behind me, graduation time is coming on Friday. Will be my last day teaching for my students. I'm going to send them out in the big wide world will I ever hear from them again? I'm getting nostalgic already. Like, oh, they're gonna leave me. What am I gonna do without my students? But I shall endeavor to be brave and oh, yabba dabba do. The reason I'm teaching high school over Zoom is because of COVID. COVID been very, very good to me. I've always wondered in an emergency what kind of person I would be. Now I know. You see, I would stand with open arms. I'd give people confidence with my charms. I'd show them that what they could do and hold their hands. I'd do that too. Look at your power. Use it like this. Yes, it is hard, but the result is success. This is your time. This is your chance. Leave fear behind you. Now forward, advance. So I did, and so did they, and their lives improved a bit each day. Now COVID is gone, and they're in control of their world, and I did my part as a lawyer in this world. Ah! So there's my happy COVID pong.
And may you have many more when the next pandemic hits us in about, say, 3 weeks. Yay!
My friends in India are talking about it right now.
I was only half kidding. Actually, I was only quarter kidding, but shit. Wow.
They said
Up
it's all
next.
over India, north and south.
Oh, good Lord. Let's keep this going while we still can, shall we? Good Christ. Let's go to Miss Jan Rowe. Mrs. Rowe of the Black Seed Writers Group.
Hi. Oh, good. It just fixed itself. Um, this is from the May 20th weekly, and it's something I wrote on Daniel Ellsberg. It's like the obituary was so long, so I finally got it down. And he was 1931 to 2023. So Daniel Ellsberg was told he had terminal inoperable cancer and decided to live a month at a time because he found living a day at a time too stressful. The cherry blossoms around the Washington, D.C. tidal basin empowered the young Daniel Ellsberg to carry the heavy audio recording machine for the young woman he had just met, as she agreed to return with him the next day to the cherry blossoms. He was hoping the machine was bulky enough to hide him as he worked for the Rand Corporation that she was protesting. She agreed to go back with him. So years later, President Nixon and Henry Kissinger thought Ellsberg knew more than he did. Essentially, what was not to be spoken, that the Vietnam War was a stalemate and not winnable. So Kissinger called Ellsberg the most dangerous man in America. However, Ellsberg's knowledge ended in 68. Beacon Hill Press released the Pentagon Papers 71. Likely assassins sent to Boston to kill Ellsberg, supposedly hidden by Howard Zinn. So Ellsberg copied 7,000 pages, 47 volumes, with the help of his 13-year-old, who ran the copy machine as Daniel collated. His 10-year-old, who had complained of boredom, was tasked with cutting the words top secret from each page. During the copying of the 7,000 pages, the police came twice due to an incorrectly set alarm. Thank you.
That's good, honey. Good. Nice job.
Thank you, Jan. I almost posted a poem written about Nixon's funeral I wanted to post that in reaction to that whole 86 Trump non-controversy, non-fiasco. Look it up. Look it up on a private browser if you want to know what that's about. I think you mentioned cancer too, Jan. I just found out that Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, right after Biden had announced his cancer, he didn't want to be out. He didn't want to be outdone, so Scott Adams actually announced his own cancer, saying he has until the summer to live. But the saddest thing was that he basically despaired, saying that the ivermectin didn't work. Take a breath, take a pause, and let's try to move on. Let's welcome up Mr. Richard Spisak.
My honor to be here with you. I've got two little pieces for you, and I'll be carefully avoiding all political content. Who knows how well Zoom is being monitored. So this first one's called Give a Guy a Break. What the hell? Are you in a trance? You got Trump derangement syndrome? They're calling anyone who finds his days and ways so damn appalling. Never give a sucker an even break. Oh, mind God, for J.D. Vance and the holy Trump turnip tumbling sake. The snake. Build a casino by the lake, then drain the lake to expand the beach. Now all them yachtmen and boaters got their ships completely out of reach. Hey, what's it teach? All their firings and rehirings just adding to the expenses when they speed up retiring. Oh my gosh, we may need some of those guys to keep planes from rubbing noses not so high down or drowned lost somewhere in the skies. Annoy our friends and steal from our neighbors. Soon enough, we'll have them all as hostages for your prison labor. And toss away the PhDs. That sort's not so nice to me. Jettisoning all the worst, of course. Yet who was expecting axing Grouch, Cookie Monster, and Big Bird? Shuddering and shutting down. Soft diplomatic power. Oh, what the hell? The food'll be rotten in a few days or hours. Then we'll waste some time suing the press. What exactly was it that got us in this mess? They simply didn't let me lie, unrestrained my hate and recrimination. I'll carry to my grave unless they slavish, grovel, and project all my faults on my enemies that I alone haphazard select. He has doubts about the Constitution, and all those jurists who fail to listen, well, that's just not prudent. Any law he doesn't like, he'll just ignore, so go take a hike. Yeah, he took an oath, but his fingers were crossed. We'll notice before our freedoms was all lost. I can guess that ghost. Annex Greenland, he'll take Canada too and add the Panama Canal with an expeditionary force and a drone or two. He'll be welcomed, he imagined, another war movie with tons of bandages. This one's for old John Wayne, another glorious bloody pageant. All the patriotic soldiering and how, like the Bartman said, dude, hey man, don't have a cow. Habeas corpus, that's a thing of the past. And if we let it slip away, which other of our freedoms might just now for another moment last? And then they fancy a casino on the Gaza Strip. Where will they stick all those extra Palestinians? Israelis have the bloody mitts on. Trump wants to fully own that bloody shtick. Oh boy, and how he'll wave that at the Hicks. And finally, with the parade, he'll top it off. Oh boy, when that shiny copper penny drops.
I think the Zoom drones will find that acceptable. I don't see any Zoom drones for the record. Just me. Let's welcome up Mr. John Wezick.
Okay. So Morris Pillbottle is back in Blind Justice. I was looking at a pile of dirty snow shaped like the great Buddha of Kamakura outside my office window when I wondered what would happen if I used rye whiskey in my coffee maker instead of water. I had just enough to try, so I inserted a filter, emptied my bottle into the reservoir, and added some grounds. When I pushed the brew button, a red light flashed and my office lights went out. Before resetting the circuit breaker, I upended the coffee machine to rescue the remaining whiskey from the reservoir, spilling half on the counter and a third on my khaki pants. I grabbed a paper towel, and as I was wringing whiskey into my cup, she walked in. Her blouse was cut so low that she'd need a podiatrist to undo the top button, and her fishnet stockings were so tight that zooplankton would get caught in the weave. Are you Morris Pillbottle? At your service. I could come back if you're busy. No, I was just storing this device in the evidence locker. I stashed the coffee machine in the closet. Mongolians have been using them to smuggle fermented mare's milk past customs. Fermented mare's milk? How else would Genghis Khan conquer half the world? I sat and put my feet on the desk. Now what can I do for you? My name is Helen Kimball. I suspect my husband Richard is having an affair. He's supposed to be working late, but has a reservation at the Roadkill Grill across from the breatharian place on the corner of Euclid and Pythagoras. He only has one arm, so he should be easy to spot. She showed me the photo of a man with a titanium fist. I could pay you a pretty penny if you got pictures of him with that floozy. Just how pretty we talking about? $30. Don't make me laugh. That fee needs a nose job and a gallon of zit cream. 50. Could use a trip to the hairstylist. $100 for an easy hour's work. Deal. I'd fought villains with stainless steel jaws and depleted uranium boots, but the thought of confronting a man with an aerospace ally fist made my guts squirm as if freshwater eels were wriggling in my duodenum. Nevertheless, $100 would buy a new coffee machine with enough left over for a fifth of rot gut. I shook her hand. You drive a hard bargain, Mr. Pillbottle. She gave me her business card. Be there at 7. Like everyone else, she got that wrong. I drove a Hyundai. To be continued.
Thank you, John. Let's bring up next our visual poet and artist from Delaware, Mr. I almost actually said the name in your thing, Robert Fleming, I guess, AKA Robert Doodle Trifle.
Thank you. Can I use the share screen? Thank you. And I regret that Richard Spisak influenced me again. I'm going to be sharing a political poem, and it was very painful to write, and I will share it now. A very bad influence, Richard. So this was published today in Oddball by Chad. Thank you, Chad. And it's a blackout poem. One of the guests of this open mic, Jackie Chow, who sometimes attends, led a workshop on blackout poetry at Four Feathers Press about 6 months ago, would help me work on this poem. The right of the people shall not be infringed. And the original text was from the United States Second Amendment. And then this is an art piece called Triple Melon, which is currently in a gallery at in Ocean City, Maryland. It'll be there through the end of this month. And then this one, this is a photograph I took, which is at the Camp Rehoboth, which is the Rehoboth Beach GLBT Center. It'll be there through June. And I started doing a new graphic art series of some of my photographs. This one was taken in 1967 when I was 3 years old. My mother is the woman with the beehive, Sybil, and my sister on the left is Cheryl, and I'm on the right at 3 years old. On the right side is the digital art study I did. This is um, this is a filter called voxel art, which makes your image looks like it's made out of Lego. Came out very cartoonish. And on the left side is a filter called Heat Wave, which generates blue and pink. And on the right side is the same image where I added a filter to distort the body called Liquify Melt. On the left side, I continued with this image and made it black and white. And then on the right side, I added mostly red color with another filter called Calm. And on the left side is a filter called Trippy Trace, which triples your image and adds rainbow color. And then on the right side, I again added a distortion of the body with Liquify. And then this is the image just with the distortion of the body called Liquify. And I have about 12 more of these classic photographs to go through, and I'm hoping that some of them will generate some surprising and very vivid images. So thank you for letting me share some of my visual poems for today. And thank you, Chad, for publishing my poem today also.
Welcome. Most welcome. Let's see. I'd like to bring up next. Oh, I thought he was here, but then he left. Well, maybe Julian Matthews will make it back here, but he doesn't seem to be on now. Instead, I will go with ending the first round of this round robin with Mr. James Van Loy.
Thanks, Chad. Glad we got in okay this time. I don't know why that happens sometimes to us, but somehow the machine has opened up our
Must be
sound
monsoon
system
weather in
again.
Malaysia.
So anyway, this is a poem called Still Standing Human. I just finished Still Standing Human, sprawling figure of man labyrinth, using all colors in dusty old bread bags. When a couple of Spanish-speaking guys pass by and one says in half English, half Spanish, referring to me and my work, "What a beast." And I know what he means. And that we share this. The experience of stoop work, as it was once so called, head down, hands to the ground, the way in summers I pick strawberries, peppers, and tomatoes to go to market in Mrs. Maxon's old pickup truck to Bay City under the roof of the open-sided community market, which became an ice skating rink for hockey leagues in winter. And I know the young passerby understands what it is to work bent over all day in the sun, up and down the rows, endless, long, seeming days, when the best that can be hoped for is to see the full baskets of produce, all lined up, waiting to go off to market. When even now, I see the bright collars left behind, and remember the migrant families, the men, women, and children working those long line rows. And here's a little song for you. You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't find my love for you. You ought to know, or haven't I told you so? A million or more times you went away, and my heart When with you I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is some other way to prove that I love you, I swear I don't know how. You'll never know if you don't know now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Van Loy. And with that, it looks like we'll pass go, collect $200 and go back to start with Marianne Honecker.
Okay. This is called Releasing Winter. The trees open their bare palms. Inside are furled buds. They open slowly. Let them. The sky recovers from its pallor. The night recedes. Allow it. If the bud of spring were in you, feel it unclasping inside. What does it want? To thrive. I waited a long pale day, a long silvered night. I expect something. What package will it come in? How will I know it? The roses still shiver a little, all thorn. They balk at their final form. So do you, little one. The air upswells in its heat. Clouds burgeon. Light splashes. Shadows thin. Light takes its full portion and eats it, then exudes it. Release the segmented body like that of an ant or a line drawing made by a child. Grow fuller. The ground blushes, the trees embarrassed. They shake it off, a snow of silk. I wrote every part of you, but still I lack you. It is time for you to appear. That
Thank you, and thanks to the link for the band. Much appreciated. I believe Mr. Bill Lewis is next once more.
Why, thank you very much, Mr. Chad. Well, I pissed off my politicians, or actually, I pissed off your politicians most recently, begging them to do something. All they do is wait until it's already over, and then they have a great big old feel-good march, but they never actually help anyone. And I sort of was getting in their faces, like actually do something that helps someone. And so I'm pisser. Oh well, we're going to leave them because we've got more important things to do with than piss off politicians. So this is a love poem. Let me see if I can do this correctly. Da 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 da. Schatzi. In German, Schatzi. This is a treasure. Mein Schatz, my treasure. So, Schatzi. Eternal fountain of exuberance, my lover of no regrets. Stream of joy and sloppy kisses, my dog, dear, my dog, my pet. On hikes you never falter, you never fall behind, and utter ne'er a word of doubt, no matter how hard the grind. A woman friend is fine to have. They're really nice in bed, but a canine's more reliable when all is done and said. A dog will never leave you if the toilet seat's left up. It doesn't faze her in the least should you check out another pup. A dog is love and loyalty beyond the human ken. A dog stays by her master until the very end. So there I am at the age of 10 years old, at 2 a.m. doing my paper route with my dog.
Yo, good night. Nice to see you all. Take care.
Good night, Richard.
Hi,
Thanks,
Richard.
Randy.
Thanks, Richard. And thank you, Bill. Let's go next to Jan Rowe. There she is.
This is something I was trying to read last week when we were having trouble, but then I started to mess with it since then. Cost of housing. I recently took an overnight ferry to the Netherlands from Newcastle, England. The Netherlands is the size of West Virginia, near where I grew up by. Hedge funds in the USA BlackRock has 300,000 houses. In the Netherlands, property bought but not lived in is taxed an additional 11%. The Netherlands hedge funds are selling their properties. My friend who manages and lives in this triple decker in Dorchester that his grandparents built before the crash of 29, he laughed when he heard that BlackRock Think says $800 a year would be allowed for maintenance of these, $300,000, these houses for 300,000. So that means he is a slumlord. According to my landlord, has to pay a lot more than 800 a year. So Fink at Blackstone also accompanied Trump on that trip to the Mideast. I don't know if you knew that, along with Musk and Elon Musk's brother, who's into artificial intelligence and is going to get on that rental price fixing right away. So one of the places they went to is Qatar, and that's the one that's going to give Trump the flying palace. I don't know if you remember that the first Trump administration cut the airspace over Qatar when they wouldn't give Jared Kushner a loan for 666 Park Avenue. And then Mohammed or Bonsall, I call him, I could never get it straight. He used to be real tight with Khashoggi until they argued over Trump. Well, anyway, they might have some tapes on him because he seemed to like to try to assassinate people in Great Britain or England. It seems like Trump just wants to throw him out of the country so far. So anyway, and the last thing I have is Biden gave Bonesaw immunity. Thank you. It's a work in progress. It's so depressing. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, let's unfortunately Richard Spizak left before he had to leave before he ended up he could read again, but we still have John Wizik.
Yes.
Robert Fleming can use his bring back the wombat hashtag.
Traffic was backed up on Pythagoras, so I took the Remont cutoff, and even though the GPS said the distance was 2 miles, my odometer read 5. I turned right on Euclid and spotted neon lights showing a fawn crushed under an 18-wheeler. I circled the block looking for a place to park, but all spots were taken by patrons of Woozy's Nitrogen Cafe. I found a place 3 blocks away and hauled my bucket of quarters to the pay station. After the greedy machine gobbled enough coin to hold me until 9 p.m., I placed the receipt on my dash and entered the restaurant. May I help you? The host had rested her orchid-like hand on the display case containing rabbit's feet, skunk skin caps, and bongs made out of deer bones. Yeah. I scanned the diners, who looked like their clothing survived an explosion at the dye factory, but didn't see a one-armed man. Table for one. The Roadkill Grill catered to vegan-adjacent carnivores who objected to killing animals for food, but made exceptions for acts of God. As such, the grill had no fixed menu, but only daily specials. On a good day, you could enjoy a venison steak. On bad days, you were stuck with rodent ragu. I glanced at the menu board mounted under a moose head with a broken antler. It was a bad day. "What are we having today?" the waiter asked. "Peanut butter and jellyfish sandwich. Hold the jellyfish." Since I needed to wait for Richard, I chose this least worst option. "Sorry, we're out of peanut butter." "Guess I'll have the Great Stone Dam Bouillabaisse then." "Would you care for a Windfall Cabernet with that?" "No. Got any Coke?" "Yeah, we got some that fell off a truck." The waiter took my menu. I spent 90 minutes picking at my fish stew, but the one-armed man never showed. At 8:40, I paid the bill and left with a porcupine quill toothpick. When I returned to the parking spot, my Hyundai was gone. I dialed the phone number under the sign. "Hammer Tow, what can we do for you?" "You towed my Hyundai." "What's the license plate?" "It's a personalized plate, Ribelto." I spelled it out. "Isn't that the drug I see on TV?" They paid for my registration in return for some free advertising. "What's it do?" "Treats psoriasis while helping you lose weight and doubling your chance of liver cancer." "I got it here. That'll be $240 cash to get it back. We're on the corner of Hilbert and Poincaré." There must be a mistake. I left the parking receipt on the dash. "I've heard that one before. Better get here soon. We tack on an extra 100 a day for storage until the vehicle reaches its blue book value. Then we sell it for parts. Your junker won't last a week." The circumstances smelled fishier than the Great Stone Dam Bouillabaisse. Someone set me up, and I intended to find out who. I dialed Helen Kimball's number, and a computer-altered voice answered. "You fell into my trap, Morris Pillbottle. Soon your precious Hyundai will be a pile of scrap metal. Ha ha ha!" The line disconnected, and I heard a dial tone, which was odd on a smartphone. I didn't have enough cash for a ride share, so I hoofed it phone. There was nothing more noir than a guy in a trench coat walking past strip joints, pool halls, and neon-lit nightclubs. I played some saxophone music on my smartphone and decided I needed to do this more often. Since I was on foot, there was no reason to risk the Riemann cutoff, so I continued on Pythagoras, past the woolly mammoth smoking a cigarette in a doorway and an S&M root beer. After that lousy fish stew, a hot dog smothered in chili called to me, but my wallet was empty as a politician's promise. The sidewalk ended at an on-ramp for the Euler Highway. I was halfway across when flashing lights lit up the night. "Jaywalker, stop right there!" An amplified voice shouted from a police car. I'd never rescue my Hyundai if I got stuck in pedestrian lockup, so I dived into the bushes beneath the overpass. "Come back here!" A cop fired a warning shot that downed an ivory-billed woodpecker, but I was already in the forsythia. I tossed my saxophone-playing phone as a distraction and hid behind a flowering dogwood. Seconds passed like millipedes until the cops left to investigate a donkey sleeping in a bathtub. To be continued.
Up next, follow that, sir. Let's welcome back Mr. Robert Doodle Trifle Fleming.
Thank you, Chad. So I'm going to share another series which I am submitting for publication. There's a magazine called Synchronicity, and this will be
You've told me
my
about this one before.
this might be my third submission to them, trying to get an acceptance. The theme for this one is dreams. So this is a photograph I took last summer at a path. It's about 4 miles from where I lived. The original photograph was in color, and I changed it to black and white. This is this originally was a photograph of my neighborhood where I applied a lot of filters to it, and I was very surprised for the color of the sky to turn out to be orange and red. And this is a series of cows I did about 2 years ago, where the cows are on the airplane. The two cows on the right, which look like boxes, are created with voxel art, which make the cows look like Lego. And then here is a this is called Pilot Shark. It is a pilot boat in my area where I've applied a filter to distort the structure and image of the boat, and I hope it reminds you of the movie Jaws a little bit. And then this is the last image. It's called Insectopus. It was an image I scraped from the web of an octopus, and I applied a distortion to it to make it look a little bit like an insect. And then I will share a poem which was published today in the Fringe magazine, which is out of the United Kingdom. I thank my critique group, the Poetry Academy of DC, which I took this poem to for feedback, 2 rounds to help me get to this point. The original poem was inspired by a Walt Whitman poem called My Captain. Oh, Daddy, my daddy, I search the dark for a papa to seize my sonship. Dress me in a blue or gray shirt. Undress me and feed me St. Peter's fish and barley bread. Choose whether food or sex is first. Order me through our years. At last, Father lays briefs on the bed, commands me to take out the trash, orders me to clip the coupons, wills me to his will, sires me through our years. Son, after 33 years, I release you. You are your own daddy. Oh no, Dada, don't. Keep me, Poppy. Farewell, my pa. As it was since the first son and padre, a boy nailed to a cross, wrists bleed crimson until the lad comes home. The son becomes the daddy becomes the son. A daddy goes forth every day. And thank you for Walt Whitman for being an inspiration for this poem.
Congratulations for having a productive week. And now, fortunately, with Richard gone and Julian unable to get back, we're going to close it out with Mr. James Van Loy.
So I've got my Modern Times poem here. And it goes like this. I can't stop thinking modern in these modern times, a long 500-year half millennium. So at end, I find East Indian villagers on YouTube.com who watch Charlie Chaplin, who they've never seen before. So there is the little tramp romping in old movies made over 100 years ago. This tiny man, harlequin of many patches with bowed cane for quick slapstick with which he dances everywhere he goes, relentless miniature doll who pops back up when knocked down and synchronous with the resistance way outside and beneath, if not actually also at once above mainstream, and who keeps on coming back again, survives, he lives, so even ancient Indian farmers for thousands of eon years can see, oh, he's the trickster, the coyote jackal that can eat your heart floating as a feather along the beach and up the boardwalk, over the fields, above the plains, deep in the canyon and through the caverns, up in the heavens, away in the blue of end time modern. And here's the song for you too. Before we slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss, another flashing chance at bliss, another kiss. Another kiss. The days were long and filled with pain. Enclose me in your gentle rain. The time you ran was too insane. We'll meet again. We'll meet again. Oh, tell me where your freedom lies. The streets are fields that never die. Deliver me from reasons why you'd rather cry. I'd rather fly. The crystal ship is being filled. 1,000 girls, 1,000 thrills, 1,000,000 ways to spend your time. When you get back, I'll drop a line. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And with that, we end a quiet open mic. Love that rendition of Jim Morris and James. Thank you so much. Check out Oddball Magazine for James's column going up at 11 o'clock tomorrow, and hopefully more announcements and more new work is coming on the way. And announcement will be coming up for next weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend for Massachusetts Poetry Festival. Stay tuned for that as well. With an obligatory wave, we bid each other adieu, and thank you guys for coming. Be here next week for Isabel, aka Blackbird's feature, her farewell, her closing feature for Stone Soup's 54th anniversary month. More to be announced. Don't go anywhere. Keep the Facebook. Stay tuned for announcements. Subscribe to my Substack, and everything will be revealed. Thank you guys, and have yourself an excellent evening. Talk to you soon. Show's over. See you next time.